Hello everyone. This is Jen with Jen's Den Art, and I am here today to show you a quick and easy tutorial for you to make your own ornaments. And not only that, but I'm also selling kits if you would like a kit for this DIY ornament set, and the link is in the comments. Hello, Tracy. But if you don't want to buy a kit, this is still fun to do. It just takes a little bit of time to find all of your supplies. But what I'm going to do today is show you how to make these ornaments using my DIY ornament kit that I am selling online. And if you notice, there is a link in the comments for the actual kit that you could purchase. Okay, the kits are closing. Sale is closing on October 12th. So you will not October, I'm sorry, November 12th on Sunday. So you will not have the opportunity to buy the kits after Sunday, because after Sunday, we're packing them all up and we're shipping them all out. I've already shipped one batch out, and now we're working on our second batch to make. And these are just so much fun. I like rustic ornaments that don't have a lot of bling, and everything in my house is very rustic and very old. And so I wanted to make some ornaments that kind of fit my decor. And so I'll show you one that I have that's already completed that actually has a different painting on it. We're not going to be painting this one, but this is what it looks like. I love jute. I love anything old, rustic, and just matte finish to me is just, I just love all of that. So this one that I'm showing you here is a final product. It's basically just paint, and I'm going to show you everything that comes in the kit. It already has a built-in hanger on it because of the way that I put the jute around it. And I'm going to show you how to do all of this today. And we are actually going to go through what the kit includes. This is one that I painted the other day just to show you part of the process and what it looks like. So what we're going to be painting, I'm going to show you. Hello, Pat. I'm going to show you the actual 4 ornaments that you can make. This is one of them. Okay, let me see if I can get it in the camera. Go ahead, a little bit further. All right, that's one of them. This is our manger. All right, and then we're also going to make a barn. I'm going to show you the templates that come in the kit. So this is what comes in the kit. You get 4 blocks, personally made by Jen's Den Art helper, aka Michael, my husband. Okay, you get 4 blocks for painting on. All right, you get the templates. You get 4 templates: a church, a chapel, a barn, the nativity scene, and the manger. And then you also get a tracing template. Okay, this template can be used over and over. And not only that, you don't have to make 4 different ornaments. You can actually, if you like the manger and you wanted to make 4 of the manger, then you can just use the template for the manger. So you have the option of either, whatever you want to do with these 4 templates, you can do. All right, because you can reuse the templates on all 4 of them if you choose to do so. Okay, so I'm going to look at my comments and see if we have any comments. Hello, everyone. So make sure, if you want a kit, I'm going to keep on talking about it. I'm going to put it in the comments. If you want a kit, you can find them on my website. What else it comes with? It comes with little liner brushes, and then another. So you get all of that. You also get 4 strands of jute to add to your ornament, and I'm going to show you how to do that, how to put the jute on the ornament. And you also get a whole set of acrylic paints to go with it. So you're going to have extra paints, okay? And you can use these paints for whatever you want to use them for. So that is what comes in. Oh, and some slick paint. I'm going to show you how to use the slick paint on our ornaments as well. Okay, this is just, it's not actually slick paint. That's a name brand. This is called fabric paint. It's black fabric paint. Okay, so that's all of the stuff that comes in your kit. So what you would need in addition is something to glue the jute on. I am going to be using a hot glue gun. Okay, I have a little hot glue gun, and I have some extra hot glue sticks right here in case I run out. So I have that heating up for us, so I know that all of that is ready to go. And what we're going to do first is I'm going to make one of each. I'm going to make one of each of these. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wood blocks, and I'm going to take my transfer paper, and I'm going to take an ink pen. Let me take my face out of the camera so y'all can actually see what I'm doing. And this is where we're going to start. Okay. I'm going to just take an ink pen here and use for my transfer. So the shiny side, when you get the kit, you're going to have a little piece of transfer paper that you can use over and over. There's two sides to it. There's a shiny side and there's a dull side. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the shiny side down, and then you're going to make sure that your template fits perfectly on your ornament. And I'm basically just going to trace each one of these onto the wood. And I'm going to take a peek to make sure it's tracing over, and yes, it is. All right, so I'm just going to keep on going. And these are super fun to make. You can paint whatever you want on these little pieces of wood. I'm just going to trace everything. So you could really spruce this up. I had someone buy a set, and they wanted to have a little ornament making party with them. And so they are getting their family together, and they are making, they're all going to make the same ornament instead of making 4 different ones. So they're going to choose, okay, there we go. So they're going to choose what ornament they make. But what I'm going to do with y'all in the video is I'm going to make one of each so that you have the directions to know exactly how to make each and every one of these. All right, so I'm going to reuse the transfer paper on my next ornament. And I'm just going to trace again. And so this video is going to be available for you all to view as many times as you want. And then for anybody that orders a kit, I'm also going to house this video in a separate area, and I'm going to email it out to y'all so that you have access to the video over and over as many times as you want to be able to create your ornaments. So I thought it would be a great time just to, while I was making the video, I just wanted all of y'all to see the process and give you an opportunity to order your kit if you wanted to do so. All right, so I'm going to trace this second ornament. Let's see if I got everything traced. Yep, looks good. All right, so the second one is done. I don't need these anymore after I'm done with them. All right, so this one's actually a lot of fun to make. This one is my Born. And I'm going to stick a horn right there. Let's get that all transferred over. And if you wanted to add some touches to yours, you can absolutely do so. You can add glitter, you can add like metallic paint or anything like that. You can even add resin if you want to. But I would add the resin. If you did add resin, I would add the resin before you put the jute on. I would definitely do that. So we're going to trace all of this. It doesn't have to be perfect because all of this is going to be painted over. So this is just a guide for you. Oops. I'm just holding it down to make sure that the template does not move as I'm tracing. Look how cute that is. Okay, so that's the third one, and let's do the fourth one, the little chapel. So I'm going to place it where I want it, and then I'm going to hold it down with my left hand. Now you could tape it down if you want. Also, that's another option. But these are just so much fun to make, and they are just another addition to your Christmas tree that will just be really popular. I put these on my tree every year, and I always get so many compliments on them because they're unique. You know, they're not like all the other ornaments, and that's what we love about doing all of these ornaments, right? Is we love to have some uniqueness to our tree, things that we can talk about. You can gift these to people. You can actually, because the back of them is still open, like there's nothing on the back, you can actually customize them with maybe someone's name or the year, or you can write something on the back. That would be super, super cool. Just personalize it. Okay, let's see how my chapel is done. Okay, so that is step one. And again, like I said, you don't have to make all four. You could just make you could use all four ornaments and make one of these. So you have the option. You can make maybe two of the chapels and two of the nativities, or whatever you want. You can just reuse these templates over and over and over, and as many times as you want. So these templates are super cool. And then you have your transfer paper that you can use over and over. This is going to last for a long time. Like this right here is going to last for a long time. I can use this over and over and over. So what I'm going to do is put that on the side. And I am going to start with my paints. It is time to get started. I'm going to paint all four of these at the same time, so that whichever one, or maybe you like to paint all four. Hello, Miss Carol. Maybe you like to be, will there be templates other than the kits? No, there will not be any templates other than the kits. This is it. So right here, we are going to start with the background. And the background is going to be, all of them are going to have kind of like a blue background. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our titanium white paint. Okay, we're going to take our titanium white paint. I'm just going to put a little bit of it out here. And I have two different blues in my sets of colors. I have an ultramarine blue and a cobalt blue. So I'm going to put both of those blues down here. I'm going to put the cobalt blue just a little bit. And this paint's going to last you a long time too. All right, and it's a good quality paint. It really is. All right, there is the ultramarine blue. And then I'm going to also put some black down. All right, just a little bit of black, and I'll explain to you why I'm putting the black down as well in just a minute. Okay, you're going to need some type of area to put your paints on. If you wanted to, you could use the plastic that comes in the set of paints, and you can just put your paints on the plastic. Or you can take all of your paints out, and you can use this little tray to put your paints in. So that's just one way that's really easy for you to have something to put your paint on when you get started. Also, you're going to need some type of rag or paper towel or something like that to be able to wipe your paintbrushes off with. And the last thing you're going to need is some water. You're going to need like a little container of water also. And you might want to make sure that you have some clothes that doesn't really matter if it gets all dirty and you get paint on it. So I have an apron on right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with the blue background on all of our ornaments at the same time. Some of them have a really light blue background, and some of them have a little bit of a dark blue background. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start by pulling some of the white paint with the cobalt blue. And the barn is going to get kind of like a white, and I'm not going to cover the whole thing. I'm using the larger paintbrush, by the way. I'm just going to lightly cover in. There's not a lot of sky to cover in on this one. Okay. The chapel is going to get a light blue as well. So I'm just going to come in here and grab some more paint. And just add. You don't have to cover in every little spot. Okay, you'll notice that my paintings are very rough and loose. So we're going to take our time and we're just going to work around the template. Okay. The manger, we're going to go a little bit darker. So we're going to pull some ultramarine blue and black, and we're going to make like a navy blue. And then we're going to grab some white. Just kind of work the paint to make like a darker blue. That's still a little bit too dark. Kind of like a blue gray. Okay, it's like a navy blue gray. So that's kind of a pretty color. And I'm going to come back here because the manger and the nativity, they are going to be more of like a nighttime sky. So these two up here are going to be a little bit darker blues. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just fill in that back area there with those blues. All right, a little bit on the sides. I'm going to dip my paintbrush in the water a little bit to get it moving a little better. And even on the inside, right here, you'll see that we're going to add a little bit of blue as well. Let's add just a teeny bit right there. Just all around. Okay. So I have these two using the cobalt blue and white, and then I have these two using the ultramarine blue and the black and the white together to make those. All right, I'm gonna clean my paintbrush off. Clean my paintbrush off. And I'm gonna wipe it off. And the next color that I'm gonna go into is my green. So my green is a beautiful hooker's green. I'm going to take that, I'm going to put a little bit on my palette. You see how little amount of paint you need to do these? I'm hardly using any of this paint. Okay, I'm also going to grab my lemon yellow and put that down as well, because that lemon yellow is going to help me make like a lime green when I mix those two colors together. All right, I'm going to use that same little paintbrush, same little flat. It's got a flat end. It's kind of small. You can see it's kind of small. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit for you to see a little bit better. Okay, so anywhere that there's Christmas trees, I'm going to make sure that I cover up my Christmas trees. But let me look around a little bit. All right, so this one down here has Christmas trees on it, but you also notice that some of these Christmas trees are in front of the barn. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to go back and forth with our colors, because sometimes we're going to be working, like whenever you're doing your painting, you want the last layer that you put down to be the items that are the closest to you in your photo, okay, or in your template. So when I look at these, I see that I have my Christmas trees right here. I can paint these and not mess up any of what is going on in the background. So I'm going to start with these two trees back here. And you can really change the order that you put your paints down, but you have to think about what's going to come in front and behind each tree. So I'm just going to start putting my green, my hooker's green, down right here. And notice how we're keeping it really loose. We're not getting perfect, because you're painting on wood. And when you paint on wood, the wood kind of absorbs the paint. You may feel more comfortable using the little liner brush instead if you want to work in a little more detail. Then you can also use the liner brush, and you can see it'll do the same thing for you. It'll just take a little bit longer to cover up your painting because it's a smaller paintbrush. Okay, so you can do either, whichever one makes you happy. All right, I think I'm going to use the smaller paintbrush on some of these trees down here. So I'm going to go back into my green, and this green is super dark, so we're going to lighten it up once we get that first layer down. And this is what I'm thinking I'm going to do with my daughter-in-law and my nieces and nephews for our Christmas prep time. And this will be so much fun. Perfect time to get together with family. I'm not going to do these yet because I want to do my barn first. So I'm not going to do these right here because I have to paint my whole barn first, and after I paint my barn, then I'll come back and paint these trees here. So I'm going to come in here. And like I said, you don't have to follow the same order that I'm following in the painting process. And these are all my original designs. These templates were hand drawn by me first, and then actually I hand painted them on some ornaments first, and then I created the template after the painting was done. So these are definitely my designs. I did not get them off of any Pinterest or anything like that. I created them myself. Oh, do you like, Melina said she purchased Payne's Gray. Yeah, so if you have a Payne's Gray, Melina, I would use that on these two right here, because that's basically the color that I was trying to make up there, is like a Payne's Gray. But this little paint kit that is in the ornament kit, it didn't have a Payne's Gray, so I just went ahead and made my own. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to continue working on my trees, but I'm going to come back with a second layer, and I'm going to take my smaller paintbrush and I'm going to dig into the yellow and try not to get my arm into everything. And I'm going to mix it in the green. And then I'm going to come back, and I don't want to fill the whole tree with the next layer, but I'm going to make some of the tree branches. Let me see, maybe it'll help if I do this, because I don't want you to just keep on seeing my arm in the video. So I'm just coming back with a second layer, and that's going to start adding some of your dimension. I still want to be able to see the darker green behind it, so I don't want to fill it all in. But you see how pretty that looks now? It gives it a nice glow. Right now, my trees kind of look like they're black almost, so I want to add that additional color on top of them. No, there will not be any templates available other than the kits. They come with the kit. Right, so let's get all of these in here. I like the way this is coming out. All right, so this is a tree that's in front of the other tree. So I'm gonna make sure I go way up here and add a little bit more. That tree, I want it to shine a little bit more. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white to my paint. Okay, so that is the beginning of our ornament so far. Okay, you can see where we're all at here. Let's go ahead and start on the brown. Okay, we're going to start bringing in that wooden part of the nativity, and I'm going to use the brown that's in the kit, which is raw umber. Okay, I'm going to start with raw umber, and I'm going to go back to my larger paintbrush that's in the kit, and I'm also going to grab a little bit of burnt sienna. Put just a teeny bit of that on there as well. So let me make sure I put all my paints back so y'all can see all the paints that come in the set, so you know where I'm getting my paint colors from. Okay, so I'm gonna go burnt sienna, which is a beautiful dark brown, but it's so dark of a brown that I'm going to add a little bit of white, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of burnt sienna too, and it's gonna make a much lighter brown. So I'm gonna come in here and just start putting my brown. And this brown also comes down here as well. And not only that, it also comes right here on the manger in this little X. And you may want to use one of the smaller brushes. I like to use large brushes because it keeps my painting very loose. The larger the brush, the better, in my opinion. So all of this is going to be brown in here. And in order to give it a little more light, we're going to add some gold in just a minute. But right now we're just going to come in with the brown. Okay, let's go with another layer. Make it a little bit darker. All right, so I'm gonna cover up my my star just a little bit to get this brown in there. And if you feel like your paint, this paint moves really well on this wood. The paints are really good quality, and it's working really well. So if you feel like your paint's not moving well, then just add a little bit of water to your paintbrush, and it will help. Okay, and then I'm going to add just a little bit more down here. On my manger. Okay, let's see. The church doesn't need any brown at all, and the barn is what we're going to do next, because the barn's going to be a lot of fun. I am going to add just a little bit of yellow to my brown, just a little bit, to just kind of, I think I'm going to go more white, just to add a little bit more dimension up here. And when you add all of those different colors, you get a really nice effect. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the born. The born is going to be a black and brown and white. It's going to be kind of like a grayish brown color. So I'm going to mix those colors together. God, I really like these paints. I didn't think I would, but I do. So I'm going to grab some white, And I'm gonna make almost like a grayish brown color. And I'm gonna use my large paintbrush and I'm gonna pull down. I'm gonna cover up my wreath. I'm gonna pull down over and over, and I'm gonna cover up my trees too. Just because I want to show you how much fun the barn is to make. Let me add a little bit more white. Let me get some more white going here. Okay, I have a lot of paint on my paintbrush, y'all, a lot. So don't be shy. Just pull straight down. I want the strokes of the barn to go straight down. And then after I get that layer, I'm gonna use the back of my paintbrush. Y'all have one like this. I'm gonna use the back of my paintbrush and I'm gonna dig into the now I'm just basically making streaks with the back of my paintbrush to make it look like the barn has some old rusticness to it. And if you want the streaks to be even stronger, then grab something that's maybe got a little bit more hardness to it, like a nail or like the end of a palette knife. And you'll see that the harder you stroke it, the more you can see the wood coming through. See that? How cool? So that's how I'm making my barn look like. It's really old. And I'm going to go right in the middle and I'm just going to make a solid black door that comes down. Just pull straight down. All right, I'm going to clean my paintbrush off. And you can see, look how pretty that is. You can see the texture that I just created in here with that technique. Okay, so here we are working on our ornaments. Let's see what color we could attack next. Let's go with, we're gonna kind of have to start working individually. So let's go with the nativity here. I'm gonna use my small paintbrush, and the reason why I'm going with the nativity right now is because it's the driest. I feel like that one and the nativity and the manger are the two that are probably the most dry. So I'm gonna grab some yellow ochre from my paint kit and put some on the side, and that's going to be my gold. And then I'm going to need some more white. You're going to use the white more than you use anything else, so make sure you give yourself enough white for everything. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and start on my manger down here. I'm going to grab some of this yellow ochre, and I'm going to start bringing in kind of like just a little bit of, I want it to look kind of like hay down here. So I'm just going to tap away. And even right around here, I want it to look like it's a little bit of a glow happening. So I'm going to add some of that yellow, just a little bit right around the edges. And if it's too dark of a gold, I'm going to grab some of my lighter yellow, the lemon yellow, which I need some more. I'm going to grab some of that. And just make it a little bit lighter. I think that looks good. You're also going to need to grab some white and just kind of put a little bit of that white in there. Be really loose. You see how I'm holding the paintbrush all the way at the end? I want the paint to move really, really loose. So that's going to help there. Let me bring my charger. My iPad's about to die, so I need to make sure I keep it charged. All right. Let's get part of our clothing on our manger painted with white. So what I'm doing right here, let me bring it up so you can see better. What I'm doing right here is I'm using a lot of white paint, and I'm not being stingy with it. And I'm basically just making some circles right here. 2 circles. And that's basically the cloth that's covering. Well, you know, my iPad went out anyway. All right, and I notice that I have to add some brown because I didn't add enough brown to my manger. So this right here has to be brown too. So I'm going back to my brown. Just making all of this. All right, it's coming together. Okay, he will have a head in a minute. We're gonna have to make that color there. Is it blurry? Okay, there we go. All right, so on our nativity scene, what we're gonna do here is, let me grab my, okay, so he's a green cloth. I'm gonna make it a muted green. I'm gonna add some gold, some of the yellow ochre to the green. And I'm gonna paint his robe green. And clean that off. And then the Mary is going to get the blue. So I'm going to take this Viridian blue. I'm going to put a little bit of that. It's like a turquoise color. And I want to use a couple of different shades of blues. So I'm going to grab this ultramarine blue. Okay, my video keeps on going out on me. I mean, my picture keeps on going out on me. So I'm going to start on the inside. I'm going to make a darker blue. And then for her robe, I'm going to take this turquoise and I'm going to mix it with white. I'm going to make it just a little bit lighter. So it's called Viridian. I'm going to paint that. And then I'm going to use the cobalt blue too. And I'm going to take some white. And I'm going to make her shawl have some blue as well. Okay. All right, so let's keep on going. I'm checking the comments really quick. All right, so the next one is, let's see. Let's put some white up here. So now we're just kind of filling in as we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. So we're filling in a lot of the details now. We're going to put the white really thick. Notice how thick I'm doing it. And then his shawl here is going to be white. You can make it any color you want, but I just think those colors worked well with what I was working with. So the key here is to make sure you have a lot of paint on your paintbrush. Okay. All right, let's add some of the gold down here. I want it to kind of look like there's some hay down there, is basically what I'm doing. And then we're going to bring in some more brown. Right, I think I'm going to go lighter. Let's go with a lighter gold here. Okay, we've got to let that dry some, so I'm going to take a break on this one. And I'm going to come down to my barn. So all of the ornaments are going to have their own, their own vibe to them. And each one we're going to have to just go back and forth with our colors to get the right, to get the final colors and the final look that we want. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come down to the bottom, and I'm using the blue and the white, and I'm going to make my snow down here. And I want to make sure that I have a few different layers of that. So I'm going to add some white in the barn a little bit, and then I'm going to pull, let's get some of this blue, there we go. I'm going to pull a few different thick layers of my white to make it look like there's rolls of snow happening. And then on the top of the barn, we're going to have a wreath. So let's go ahead and add our wreath. I'm going to start with some green. And I'm basically just going to tap, tap, tap in a circle. See if y'all can see that. We're going to tap in a circle with our paintbrush. I'm going to add just a teeny bit of yellow just to make it a little bit brighter. All right, clean that off. And I'm going to let it dry before I add anything else to the wreath. So I'm going to add a little bit more dimension to my barn. I'm going to make a line come across here and here. And then I'm also going to pull down with my paintbrush just a little bit of white. You see how it makes that texture? I think it almost looks like a tobacco barn. And I'm going to outline the outside with just a little bit of white. And it really gives it that dimension there. All right, I haven't done much on my chapel yet, so let's go ahead and do our chapel. Our chapel's gonna need lots of white paint, so I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna start putting the white down. Chapel's gonna be fun. Keep on grabbing that white paint. Lots of paint on your paintbrush. Don't be shy. And we're gonna have to put some snow down here like we did on our barn. Chapel's kind of tiny. We have to use the little brush for this. A little bit more of the white, still working around. You know what? I need some clean white. My white is contaminated, so let me put another little batch of white right here. Okay, then the roof is going to be using my my brown, my raw umber. It's a little bit dry, so I'm going to add a little bit of water to my paintbrush. So I have a roof right here. And then up here. This one's the most tedious. It is because it has so many little small pieces to it. It's a little bit more tedious than the other ones. I feel like this should come higher. Okay, the door, I'm going to go ahead with some red. Let's grab some red now. I've got vermilion red. And I've got crimson red. So you can choose which red you like. I'm going to make a red door. But before I do the red, let's go ahead and add our snow down here. So to add our snow, we're going to grab some white and blue. And we're just going to come on in here and add a bunch of paint. Bunch of paint with white and blue. And let's go with a little bit more white. Okay, that looks good. Clean that off. And then for the door, I'm going to go with a crimson red door. And then I'm going to have fun with, like, this is like a side window. And so I'm going to add a few different colors, like make it like stained glass. I'm going to do that up here too. Yellows and reds. Let's fix him a little bit. He looks crooked, so I'm going to add just a little bit more white to come straight down. And let's get our wreath painted in. And then we also need to do a little bit of white right in the center. And a little bit more here. And then our red bow. All right. And then here we're going to have a red bow as well. Let's bring our okay, looking super cute. Let's see what we have left. I'm going to go back over them and see what else we have to add to each one. Okay, so here we have to add some trees. Let's do that first. All right, I'm going to add some more trees in the front right here now that it's dry. So I'm just going to bring in some more green. Add a couple of my trees back in. And I need a little bit more paint. The more paint you have on your paintbrush, the better it's going to work. Okay, so I'm going to add some more green. And then I'm going to come back while I'm on it. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of white to make it look like it's actually like maybe there's some snow on the trees. So we're going to add some white to our it is not the color I wanted. Let me clean that off. I want just a little bit of white in there, because I think it pops more with that little touch of white everywhere. So you may want to use your smaller paintbrush to do that. So I'm just going to come in here and do those final touches of a little bit of white on my trees. And even on my wreath, I'm going to try to make it pop a little bit more. So you can see it. And let's do a little bit more on here. Okay, so this one is just about done. And I'm thinking it looks pretty good. Super cute. We're gonna let this dry, and I'm going to work on, oh, look how cute our church is. It's coming out so good. All right, that's a little blurry. Let me fix that. Oh, good, Kelly. You already got your kit. Yay. All right. So let's go back to our manger. Let's work on our manger. I'm having a little thought here. Okay, so we have a big star at the top. So what I'm going to do to make my star is I'm going to make a cross first, and I'm using my yellow ochre. And when I make the cross, I'm going to pull from the center to the right and to the left and up and down. And then I'm going to make an X. From the center, I'm going to pull out, 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 and out. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit of a brighter yellow in there. So I'm mixing my my lemon yellow with it, and I'm just going to try to make it a little brighter. I might have to wait till it dries. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait till it dries. Okay, let's do the same thing on, since I'm in that color, let's do the same thing on our nativity. And this one's a larger star. So I'm going to pull down, just kind of fill this one in. This one just has 4 legs to it, not 8 like this one does. So the star is going to come like this and then out this way. And then out this way. Basically, I'm just making like 4 little mini triangles. And then I'm gonna grab some of the yellow and try to make it just a teeny bit brighter. You know, if you have like a metallic color, the metallic color would look really good on here. Gonna fill this in a little bit more while I'm in the color. All right. Oh my gosh, look how cute they are. Okay. We need to finish up our faces. So none of our faces have anything on them. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make a like a whatever color you want your face to be, like a flesh color. And the easiest way to make a flesh color is take a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, and a little bit of yellow, blue, red, and yellow, and mix them together. Now, at first you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, oh, that's not anywhere close to a flesh color. Okay, you see how dark that is? But what we're going to do is we're going to add some white. And you're going to see it's going to start coming to more of like a grayish tone. And right now, when I look at it, I see more of a purple tone. So I want my faces to be more like a peachy tone. So in order to get closer to a peachy color, first thing I'm going to have to do is add a little bit more yellow. Okay, so add a little bit more yellow, and you'll see it turn a little bit more to that. It's still kind of a purpley. See how it's kind of purpley? So I need a little bit more red to get closer to a peachy tone. So I'm going to grab my red. And you're just going to have to play with it until you get it. So now I'm too red and I'm too dark. So I'm going to add some white. And now that's more of what I want. I want that peachy tone. Still a little bit too red. So I'm going to grab just a teeny bit of yellow. And that's getting better. Okay, so we're almost to the flesh. I'm going to go a little bit lighter. I'm going to add some more white to it. And I'm just going to mix and mix and mix until I get it right. If you feel like it's too brown, it's more too brown, or, you know, I mean, there's so many different tones of a flesh that you can have. So, like my tone, see, it's very close to the color of my skin. I have kind of like a yellowish olivey tone. So that's kind of what I'm going for. And I feel like it's still a little bit too brown. So I'm gonna dab into the red and just add just a little bit more red and white, a little bit more pink basically. And that might be a little bit better. So there's one face. There's another face. And I'm just tapping with the paintbrush to get those colors in there. Okay, so there's my flesh tones. All right, so let's see how we can just spruce these up just a little bit. I want this color right here to change. I don't like it. I'm gonna bring in a little bit more yellow and gold right in here. And I'm just gonna start, oh, you know what? I'm gonna put some Christmas trees on this one because it's gonna make it pop so much more. So I'm gonna go back to my green and I'm just gonna add just a little bit of strokes of a Christmas tree right here on the right and the left. Just kind of like a half of a tree. Let me get some yellow in there to spruce it up a little bit. And here we go. Get some yellow and then maybe a little bit of white. Okay, I do want to spruce up my trees a little bit. Let's add some white. Just a little bit of white. This one's wet, so just a little bit of white. And then I'm going to do that here as well. I don't like my green. It's getting a little bit like almost like an aqua. So I'm going to add a little bit of black to it because I want it to be a beautiful darker green. Here we go. And I'm just going to touch up a couple of areas here and there that I feel like need touching up. Like here's one right here. I feel like I need to fill this in just a little bit more. Maybe a little bit of white in there. A little bit of clouds, kind of. Okay, let's deal with, I think this one's done. It looks pretty done. I like it a lot. Let's deal with the church. I feel like the church needs a little bit of work and it needs a cross. So we're gonna put a cross. I'm just gonna put a black cross at the top. You're gonna put a cross. And I'm also going to kind of outline it a little bit with some black. Now we do have our fabric paint that we're gonna add as well in just a minute. And I'll show y'all how to do that. That's gonna be super fun. Let me make my trees have a little more white in them. A little more white coming through like snowy. This one. And if you add that white, it just kind of makes them pop a little bit more. Okay. Can y'all see anything else that they need? I really like the way they're coming out. Kind of in love with them. Kinda. They're gonna be hanging on my tree. Which, by the way, have y'all started decorating yet? Because I have. Let's put a little bit more. Okay, getting close to the end. All right, so we need to make sure that they are pretty close to being dry before I do anything else. I'm gonna raise this up and I'm gonna add, well, if I can get my heater, my dryer here, I'm gonna just dry these up a little bit. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on this one. Okay. Oh, you know what? Look at this one. I added some little red dots in this one. So here's a couple of other things you could do. You could take the back of your paintbrush, go into the red, either red. I like the brighter red. And on any of these, you can just add some little ornaments on your trees. Which actually gives it a nice pop of color. And I like that. So I'm actually going to do that on these. Just some little dots. Okay, let me do this tree right here. Not all of them, but just one of them. And add some little red ornaments. Okay, that actually looks better. I like that better. And one of the other things I saw that I did on a couple of them was I took some white, because each one's going to come out different. They're not all going to look the same. I'm just trying to give you some ideas to help you make yours. I'm going to add a little bit of white on my star to make it pop a little bit more. And I'm going to do that here too, just to make it pop. And if you don't like it, you can always just go back over it and calm it down some with some more paint, because you have plenty of paint to play with here. All right. So once they are dry, which let me dry them again. Another thing you can do that I'm going to show y'all right now is take one of your paintbrushes. I'm going to take the largest paintbrush, and you can do some, if you want to do some sprinkles, this paintbrush has green in it, so I'm going to clean it a lot better. If you want to spray some white like snow, just take one of your paintbrushes and water it down. I like to use a fan brush to do this, but I didn't include a fan brush in your kit, so I'm just going to show you how to do it with a regular paintbrush, with one of the paintbrushes that I provided. And I'm just going to hit it with the other paintbrush, and I'm just going to make it look like snow on all of them. Okay, this one, it almost looks like stars in the background. Okay, so I would suggest before you start hitting your paintbrush like that over your ornaments, test it first on the side to see how it's splashing, because sometimes it can splash into some really big chunks and then it just ruins your whole painting. So you can see now, I'm going to show you close up again. You can see that part is done, and I like that a lot. It kind of gives it another little flair there. All right, now in your kit, I also included some fabric paint. And what the fabric paint does is it adds an additional layer, but I want to show you something. It just adds another layer of fun. I want to show you something that I would suggest you do. See, when I open this one, it's already got like some, let me bring this in so you can see better. It's already got some black paint that's coming out on it. So I'm going to clean that off with a rag, and I'm going to test it, and I'm going to see how it comes out. See how it comes out? So what I'm doing is I'm hardly pressing, and I want little lines like this to come out in my fabric paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these, and I'm going to start my fabric paint. Trying to get it to come out. Okay, see, that's what you don't want. You don't want that big glob like that, so you have to be careful. And then I'm just going to press really light, and just going to kind of outline. Nothing special, just have fun with it. Just outline some of it. And you see how it just makes it pop? It just like super popped. All right, you may want to do a little bit of the trees up here. All right, super cute. I'm going to do that for each one. So I'm going to be careful. I'm going to make sure that my paint is coming out. Now watch this one pop. This one's really going to pop. My tree. Look at that, how cute. I'm going to come down here and add that. And I like that a lot. Okay, now let's go around this one. You do whatever you want, but I'm just going to show you what I want to do. You have to be careful not to put too much. And you don't have to outline everything. I want to do his head. See how cute that is? It comes out so cute. Okay, and then our last one. Make sure I have it coming out right. You have to be really careful when you press it. Don't press it hard. Notice that I'm moving it at the same time I'm pressing because I don't want it to make a big blob. So when it starts coming out, I want it to already be moving so that I don't have a big blob in one spot. See how much fun that is? Perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. They are so cute. Okay, so that now on the manger, the nativity right here, I would probably take a little bit of black paint and just make it stand out just a little bit more around his head. I'm afraid to do that with a slick paint because I'm afraid it's going to come out in a big blob. And so you can just kind of outline it like that if you want. I love the outlines. All right, so the last step, I'm going to put these aside and let them dry. Definitely let them dry. Do not try to do this next step until they are completely dry. So I have one that's already dry, ready for me to put the jute. So we have the jute. You have 4 strands of jute. So this is what we are going to do. I'm going to show you one that's already finished. Okay, so the start and the finish of the jute is at the top. I don't know if you can see that. This is the beginning of the jute, and then this is the end of the jute. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your jute and you're going to start at the top left. Okay, start at the top left. Let me get my glue gun to come all the way over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm just going to squeeze. Come on, mama, do your work. I'm going to squeeze. I need another. Get in there. I'm going to squeeze. Come on. All right, squeeze. And then in the front of the top, I'm going to start putting my jute on. Notice I'm going in the front. Okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it. And then I'm going to add some more hot glue. My hot glue gun is not cooperating with me today. And I'm just going to go in the front like this with another line. And then I'm going to turn it. There's no cutting the jute. I'm just going to keep on wrapping it around. Let me see if I can get another stick in here. There we go. It might have been a little stopped up. All right, so then I'm going to add another line of hot glue. There we go. It's working now. I think it was a little stopped up. All right, and I'm going to put this line right there. All right. And one more right in the front, And I'm going to pull it tight. Okay, so that is one round. Then what I'm going to do for round 2 is I'm going to leave a loop. I'm going to leave a loop, however big. I would do about this big. I'm going to leave a loop, and that's your hanger. All right, that's your hanger. And then I'm going to start with round 2. And I'm going to skip the top because I left a loop. All right, I'm going to skip the top because I left a loop. And then I'm going to start gluing again all the way around. And this is the jute line that's going to go in the back of my board or my wood. And I lost my glue stick. my glue stick back in. And let's not burn yourself, Ginger. All right, stay in there, Mama. Stay in there. Okay. And you can use any kind of glue. You don't have to use hot glue. But, you know, all of y'all out there, I'm sure, have a hot glue gun, right? All right, keep on going. Keep on going. Make sure you put it tight because you have just enough jute to make it around. And then this last part, you can come all the way to the end, back right there. And if you have any extra, just cut off the little, just snip the little end of it. And then place that down right there. And maybe just add a little bit of glue on the end so that it doesn't ravel, but it shouldn't ravel. I've been having these for a couple of years and you can see, I mean, it's raveled just a little bit on the end, but you can always just add a little bit of glue there if you need to. And so that, my friends, is my little ornaments. The back is empty. So do whatever you want on the back. Write someone's name, the year, you know, whatever you want, you can do on the back. So these are the cutest little ornaments I have ever made. And I hope you enjoyed the lesson on these because you can have so much fun making these. You'll see the ones that I made today. And I can't wait to see, for those of you who actually make these ornaments, make sure you share them with us in our free group so you can see so we can see what you did with them. And I'm going to post the link again to order the ornament kits. They are $49.99 and you get all of this. And look, we have a ton of paint left. Like there's a ton of paint left in all of this. I'm going to go over what you get in the kit again for those of y'all who want a kit. So you can make 4 different ornaments like this, or you can make 4 of the same ornaments, but the template is provided for all 4 of these. Let me see where I put, okay. So this is what you get one more time in the kit. You get, of course, the video here, okay, how to do everything. You get the 4 templates. You get the nativity, the manger, and this is what it looks like. Now, my manger is a lot darker right here because I added more of the blue in the background, but this one I added more of the white in the background. So you can do it either way you want. The church, the little chapel here, you can see this one right here. This is how we painted it today. And the barn, which y'all, the barn is probably my favorite. I love the way the look of the barn comes out. And so those are the 4 templates that you get. You get a tracing paper. Okay, you get 3 liner brushes, and then 1 small flat brush. Okay, which are all reusable. This is all reusable stuff, so it's super awesome. Okay, so you get 3 liner brushes, a flat brush. You get the fabric paint. Okay, you get a little bottle of the fabric paint. You get a set of 12 paints that we use to actually create our, I think I used every color in here. I sure did. I used every color that's in here, but you also have a ton of extra paint as well that you can use for any additional acrylic projects that you have. You get 4 jutes to put around your ornament. And I think that's it. Is that it? The only thing you don't get is the hot glue and the hot glue gun. That was the only thing that was separate, that doesn't come in the kit. All right, so does anybody have any questions? The first round of kits were shipped out Monday. The first round of kits were shipped out Monday. So if you ordered after Monday, or if you ordered Monday or later, those kits will be shipped out. Let's see, the 12th is the last day we're taking orders. So they will be shipped out on the 19th or the 20th. They'll be shipped out on November 20th, the second set of kits. Okay? So does anybody have any questions? All right. Yes, Miss Ellen, you will get to see this video again. It is going to stay up on my page. So make sure you go to your email, and the link is in your email for this video. It'll take you straight to this event, and you will be able to watch this video as many times as you want. All right. All right, guys. Okay, thank y'all so much for being here. And do me a favor and sprinkle this video for people you think that would like to buy an ornament kit and have a little ornament kit making party. I would love for you to let them know about it. And I cannot wait to see y'all again. Y'all have a great day. Bye.